All right, hello class. Welcome to Thursday, April 8th. Today will be a fairly short video just because we kind of explained some things that we were doing yesterday. A couple of things that we're going to cover are the website and the worksheet itself, and then I'm going to review this documentary with you so that you can watch about the first 20 minutes of that or so. So within our fair trade document, we have a couple questions. We have what is fair trade? That will be explained in several spots. So the first one is this will be the home page that you go to. What is fair trade? So in this first paragraph right here, it'll kind of explain it. It'll talk about some of the benefits in that video itself. It'll talk about what the certification means. So really, like any of these first couple paragraphs are things that you can use if it works for you. So put that into what fair trade is. What are some of the standards? Now here's a link to some of the standards that they look over. So the first picture is going to be a banana, but it is a PDF here. What is Fair Trade USA? It kind of explains the organization. So it'll give you a seal. USC seal signifies. That's going to be another question later. What is Fair Trade certification? So it talks about Fair Trade certification requires regular evaluation of independent auditors. Okay, so that's a big important part. That means independent people come in and check your business to make sure you're doing things in accordance with the fair trade standards. Okay, so some of the fair trade standards are down here in this little thing. So empowerment. Okay, so it talks about small producers and workers are represented in the fair trade community and manage the use of fair trade premium, which is the premium you get by using a fair trade product. Small producers are empowered to improve their livelihoods. There's several categories to that. There's no forced or bonded or compulsory labor. There's no child or young labor. Freedom for your labor parties to be in a union. There's no discrimination or abuse. Let's say you don't get your quota for the day. I can't hurt you as your boss, right? Those are all things that are very important. Employment contracts and conditions are clear to your workers. The work environment is safe, and it goes through all the different pieces of safety there. Workers receive fair wages and benefits, and they work reasonable hours. I think those are all things that we want. Migrant workers are recruited ethically. Workers have access to basic needs and services. Workers understand their rights and can air their grievances. So those are all the things that you want to discuss and what qualifies a company to being fair trade. What is a community development fund? Okay, so think about it like this. Every time a fair trade a product is purchased, and the importer, the person taking those goods to another country, are going to pay a fair labor, basically kind of like a tax, a premium they call it. And then that money that is taken after the sale is then given back to community leaders who have developed like a committee. And they get to decide, after that money pools up for a while, they get to decide what that money might be used for. So it could be for a well, it could be to build a school, it could be to build a community center, it could be to fix up a hospital or hire doctors. Whatever that money could be used for, the community gets to decide with democratic vote what to do with that money. How do you know if you're buying a fair trade product? That's what I highlighted earlier in that sheet. When you pick up a fair trade product, you'll know right away it's a fair trade product. How do I know that? And then what can I be sure of if it has that seal, now that you know what fair trade is? The last one's kind of fun, or the second to last one's kind of fun because you get to search up your product. So what you get to do is, I'll go back here one. Sorry, I clicked on some of these. So let's say if I shop by category, right? Click on clothing, because I want to see if any of my products that I wear are fair trade. So these are all of the certified fair trade, like full companies. So JD Crew, Obey, Adventura, Outerknown, Athleta, Pact. I don't wear any of those. Piranha, Madewell, Patagonia is the only one. I may have a Patagonia coat. But basically what you do is you click on that and it goes to their website. But if I click on like Amazon, or if I click on one of the companies up on top, I can search their website for fair trade products. Produce, it labels the companies that have it. So Amazon has a produce network. Delray Avocados, have had those before. And then one of the big companies that really supports fair trade is Dole. Driscoll Strawberries and berries themselves. So I've had a lot of these products. So I would be writing those things down in that slot to say, like, what products do you wear? So Patagonia, I've had Patagonia before. Driscoll strawberries and berries, Dole bananas. Those are all fair trade products. So there you go. You just make a list of things that you've consumed or used that are fair trade certified. So you can feel better about yourself a little bit. And then just as a kind of a response, what can I do to be a more informed consumer? Knowing what I'm going to buy and how I'm going to buy it and where it's going to be purchased at and those things. So that's kind of what this question is talking about. And how can you ensure that you make appropriate choices? Because the video you're going to see today, the documentary, if you watch maybe we probably got through like the first 15 minutes or so today after our work was completed. But this River Blue documentary really outlines the adverse impact of our fashion needs. It goes to Bangladesh, India, China, and it looks at all of the sourcing things that we ask developing nations to do, and they can't comply with some of those regulations, or the governments choose not to. And what ends up happening is the health of their citizens and the health of their rivers. So we talk about pollution, global issues, all sorts of different stuff. I'm trying to pull up a decent picture of like a really polluted river or something. It goes into the Ganges. It goes into other rivers across Asia. And so here's a kind of a good one there. So it looks at the leather industry. Let me just look at that. I mean, that's a kid trying to sift out something maybe to get something to eat later. But there are some bodies of water across the world that are so dirty, their oxygen level is at 0. No fish can live there. They can't use the river to drink out of. And this just shows us, not to make you feel bad, but to make you more aware. Like when I buy cheap clothing and I buy it from these certain sources, I may be kind of compounding this problem, making it worse. And we want to make you at least aware of it so that if you want to make a difference or a choice, that you can, and you have those tools for that. Next week, so tomorrow we're watching this video all in class, all day Friday, and we're going to have a little reaction piece to that. But there's no extra work or no new work from here forward until next week. So next week we'll be brand evaluating. So what I want you to do is, if you can, take a gander at the first couple minutes of that video, and then tomorrow that's all we're doing. So those of you who are quarantined, you're not missing out on much, and you can kind of watch it in the convenience of your own house. Very informative. I mean, I didn't expect when I sat down to watch this the first time to watch it all the way through, and it's an hour and 34 minutes. It plays a lot like a video, like a movie, because it's kind of unbelievable to see some of the conditions that people live in across the globe and what they consider normal. Like there's places in Bangladesh where the people that live around these tanneries have lost their sense of smell by like the age of 4 and 6, and so they can't even smell anymore because of the chemicals in the air. So it's sad, but it's made me more aware of what brands to purchase and what brands to order. And what companies to support and which ones not to. So hopefully you get that same idea from there. So you guys have a great Thursday. I'll make a quick video to remind you tomorrow that we're watching the videos. But other than that, you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.